Boots, and I'm here on the front lines all by myself today. Apparently, for some reason, Tank decided that he needed to go to bed. Well, we were trying to coordinate, and apparently, was there a time change? Where they were like, or something along those lines, where it's an hour later there? There's no time change for me. So that's the only thing I can think of, because Lisa told me, oh, he said he went on Zoom and I wasn't there, so he just went to bed. So I think might be something like that, or his clock was off. But in any case, I am here. I'm here on the front lines in the battle against the deep state, the cabal, the Illumbadonkeys. So let me go into a couple of things. Let's say an announcement of sorts, right? We've been waiting and waiting and waiting for project funding. And we know that the cabal has been standing in our way all this time. When we started this broadcast a year ago, just a few days past, we were talking about the GCR and what we expected for the previous couple of years we were working on the GCR, that it was going to come about and we'd have project funding. But we found out that it was a lie. We each came to that conclusion in different ways, though I wasn't, I wasn't really aware of the trust from the standpoint that Kim was is the trustee and the comptroller of this trust. But I did know of the trust when it was under the previous cabal holding, and they are their control. So when we started these broadcasts, which now is the front lines, we basically had said, that we're going to do this until the project funding comes in every day. We started off with 2 weeks, because at that time, the GCR was about to happen, right? And so we did a countdown of the GCR happening. And of course it didn't happen, as it never does happen. But everyone was sure it was about to happen. So anyway, we said that we would keep doing this until we were able to, have it happen. And Tank not being on here must means it's happened. Yeah, see, the dog agrees, if you hear that. So I guess we're going to find out more tomorrow on what's happened. Maybe it's delayed. I don't think so, but we'll see what happens. So just a little bit of a teaser until tomorrow, and may Tank have a good night's rest. For some reason, I got one of those long nights of rest in last night, about 10 hours. Not normal for me, 4 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours, sometimes 6 or 7. But in these little, occasionally these long periods of sleep sneak into the mix, which is much appreciated. And so I had one of those. So, but we do have some things to go over. I was just listening to X22 report. I'm going to go ahead and let's go over that. Let me do some realignment here of this page. Let me bring this up. And this, and then this, and we can kind of talk about it this way. So this is from today.
It's coming. Post 2513. Clinton's using blackmail to keep control of many in power. Nothing can stop what's coming. 2533. French police officers show solidarity with protesters against President Macron.
So what he's talking about here is there was a post that was basically showing Trump playing a violin. Maybe it was the tiniest violin for his sympathy for the cabal. But the title of it was "Nothing Can Stop What's Coming." That's the name of the song that Trump's playing with his little violin. So X22 lined up these posts, and so it's actually from today. Messenger being sent. It's almost time. T-2 and counting down and counting. Time to bring the heat. Episode 3116B, and it's a 27 minutes in. 27 and a half, probably.
Nothing can stop what's coming. Post 2780 shows the case of McCabe, and this is what it says down below. Former acting FBI director Andrew McCabe says President Trump's own words were among the reasons top officers decided to open a counterintelligence probe and obstruction of justice investigation into him. Nothing can stop this. Post 30.
So that's one. He's going to go over all 10, and there's a reason for that. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Just take note of the subjects of each of these.
426. Very weak fake news story bashing Q supporters. Post 3320. Fake news links border militia leader to Q Anon. 3312. Attacks on Q will intensify as the deep state is targeted. Q has the source. Julian Assange. Post 3784. Declassification chain of command. This is when Q showed us the chain of command and how it's going to declassify. Post 3590. Alexandra Chalupa. Ukraine and the DNC plot to link Trump to the Russia hoax. Nothing can stop what is coming. Post 3498. Senator Lauren receives threats after seeking investigation into local sheriff's leniency with Epstein. So what do we get out of all this?
Yes.
We got Assange, we got Ukraine, we got Clinton, we got Epstein. Put it all together. What do we have? We have everything that is coming. And I do believe this is what this tweet was about. Letting us know that everything that Q has been telling us, it is now coming. The storm is coming. And if you go back to post 3880, it says, "You have come far, Anons, patriots. You are ready. Prepare for the storm. It's time to bring on the heat." Listen.
There we go. That was a very good post. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out. So this is the topic of these, right? It kind of leads us to the assumption that if you put them all together, we have a storyline, right? Talking about the emails from Clinton and what's been in the news recently. Oh, she has to go to court and basically testify. Look how long she's been able to push this off. Before it was, oh, she just handwritten some notes and gave them some answers, or she came in for an interview, not recorded. So all of this was just like, just to push it under the rug. What else is in the news is more about the actual evidence that shows that the DNC server was not hacked by the Russians. It was basically done by a thumb drive. Someone inside the building with a thumb drive that downloaded the files and got them to Julian Assange. He ended up dead. He was arkancided. So we can see that the start of the Russian collusion came from there because the Russians hacked the DNC server. Because of why? The Russians are helping Trump. Well, if they didn't hack the server, they weren't helping Trump, right? And the Mueller report showed they weren't helping Trump. You want to talk about $100,000 worth of Facebook ads from a group of Russian trolls out there that were, paid probably by Hillary to push that. Let's look at how much money was spent by Bloomberg right now to become the nominee from the Democrats for president. 600 billion. Oh, I'm sorry, 600 million, 700 million. Did that sway anyone? No. So $100,000 worth of ads, did that really further the election to Trump? No. So this is this shows that the beginning of this was all erroneous, but it's all coming out now. Look how it's all starting to come up. So we can tell that there is major amounts of things on every front ready to hit. They're going to hit now. So it's going to hit with full force of this storm, because nothing can stop what's coming. And we can tell also from what's been going on in the banking world that around the world that the Fed is lowering its rates around the world. Even our Federal Reserve has just knocked it down half a point. When does that always take effect? After they do it, right? Does it hit immediately? No, it takes 2 to 3 months, and then you see big changes. But there was already changes in the mortgages. There was big surges in mortgage rates, so a lot of people running and buying houses, right? Why? Because there was half a point drop. It's a big drop. Normally they go 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. No, they go 0.1, 0.1. Oh, 0.25. Quarter of a point, in other words. So So this is a big jolt to the economy. And then we see that what's happening with Kim making breakthroughs, and it's all very good. It's past the point of no return, it appears to me. I think we're on every front. We have the world has changed, and this is just the beginning. Yes, we have to clean house. Yes, we have to get rid of the people that have been installed in power throughout the world, in every country, wherever the black sites are of the tentacles of this cabal. It has to be routed out. They have to be removed. The good people have to stand up and move them aside. This is for our children, our children's children, and for every generation to come. This is the time to act. This is the time. Even old warriors out there, old patriots that have been out there fighting the battles, that have been beaten down. I know. I mean, I have many of my friends that have experienced going up against the system, and they were well within their rights, and they still ended up in serious problems for doing it. But now the system is now on the decline. It is now weak. It is now vulnerable. This is the time to attack. This is the time to get back on the front lines and make a stand, and then push forward. That's where we're at right now, and everybody should make a stand. Do what you can. The small steps, such as starting a broadcast like we did, setting an intention like we did, manifesting a new reality, is all it takes, because this is our power. This is the power of the people, of everyone. We all have it within ourselves to change the world. I always like the Knight Rider series, the kit car, right? Yeah, the theme there, it was like, one man can make a difference. And we can. And the more that we stand together, more we are focused on the same agenda, the same focus, the same prayer, the same manifestation, the faster it happens. Because we just all move together. And that's what it's about. We move together, and that's what we're doing now. We're making our stand and moving forward on the front lines. This is a glorious time. And in the future, your children are going to ask you, Dad, Mom, what did you do during the big Grand Awakening? The Great Awakening, Grand Awakening. What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? So take a stand, make an effort, do something. Share a video. Give a like. These are tiny, tiny, tiny little things to do, but they make a big difference. Chaos theory. A butterfly flapping its wings in the middle of the Amazon causes a hurricane on the other side of the planet. You think it's impossible? But that's what happens. Not every butterfly flapping. Right? It's not about that. It's about showing that the difference of a little current and how it magnifies. So doing small things helps us move this forward. You know, it's taken a lot of time for a lot of people to coordinate this effort on the QAnon front. Decades, many, many decades. They probably didn't even know how they were going to accomplish it when they started with their plan. Does it go back to Tesla? Does it go back to him, realizing that he'd been hoodwinked by these cabal, by the cabal? That's who he was dealing with. Get everyone on a meter. We want them to keep paying every month. We don't want to give them free energy. Such small thinking. Can you imagine if we had Tesla fully supported back then, what world we would be living in now? Over 100 years ago, this technology was there. We had free energy. Just imagine, free energy. Even saying the word free energy actually puts it in the context of commercial, of making money. Hey, it's zero money. It's still in the context. But the reality is that energy is all around us, and that's what Tesla was tapping into. The energy is just there, just plug in. That's all, without the meter. But what we would have been able to do if we were powered to do so. Could we move giant blocks and build a pyramid if we had that power? That we could draw upon all the power that was around us in the universe? Of course, we could do many things. We're in that position now. As this old dying system gets pushed away, we clear away the rubble. We're here to build something brand new, a new abundant space reality, and where we can tap into that energy, where you can tap into your energy. When you're not bogged down by all of these, like, how am I going to pay this bill? How am I going to do that? I have to go and work over here, and I don't really want to do that. You lose hope, you lose your perspective, and then you just try to get by, paycheck to paycheck. Eke out a little living, try and save something, gets eaten up. System is in the dumpster, where it belongs, where it was destined to go, where it was designed to go. But let's not repeat it. And all those out there that are going to want to say, yeah, but that's not how it works. Those people, they don't get it because they learned something. They were taught So their response is Pavlovian. You know, you say, "Oh, you don't charge interest." Oh, but you have to charge interest. I've gotten into some interesting arguments. I wasn't arguing really, but the people on the other side, they literally got hot about the topic. You know, to consider it evil, I never considered it evil. Well, throughout my whole business, I think it was just part of it, right? And even when I heard that, when the system, the whole system was designed for the countries to borrow at interest, that the interest part was the evil part. I've heard people say that, but it's just like, people saying, "Oh, all money is evil." That's the category I put it in. Those are just words, rhetoric to basically, heighten the tension about the topic. But to know exactly why interest is evil is that it enslaves. That's all. If you know what money is, interest is evil. If you don't know what money is, then you don't know why interest is evil. That's as simple as it goes. So in order to know why, you have to know what money is. Money represents an amount of value of the work that someone put out. A farmer creating grain is how it started. A carpenter building a table. A butcher, someone at the marketplace. They are bringing the goods that they acquired to a place for you to exchange with them, to barter. It's hard to change a chicken for a cabinet. How do you value them? Well, you come up with money to represent a particular amount of value. So since those were all based in someone creating something, someone doing something, where does interest come from? Nowhere. There isn't a value. It has to come from someone else's value that they're taking without any reason, without any matched value. That's why it's evil. Because once you've done that, say on the country scale, or even you did it in any environment where you basically had to borrow all of your money, you have to pay the interest. Where does that come from? Well, since this already exists, where does that extra interest come from? Well, you have to borrow this much now. More. And then more every year, 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 until it exceeds the work output of everyone that put into it. That economy. Everything was exceeded by that much. So then at that point, it can never be paid off. Right? Because you can't produce more than what was earned. In fact, you start producing less. And you own less, and you have less. Until 100% of everything is owned by the ones that were doing the lending. And that's the evil. People are then enslaved. They were reliant upon being given a gift of food. And they say, oh, in order to get that, you have to go and work where we say you do. You're enslaved. Whichever way you put it, this is the start of slavery, whenever you charge interest. So it's not benign. It's devious, it's secretive, and it has to not happen ever again. Countries should never borrow at interest. Never. You want to lend? You want to help someone out? Lend them? No interest. I'm giving back the same that they gave. or make a business partnership and arrangement and co-own whatever that is. Small percentage of it is fine. Percents are not bad, it's the interest. Percentage of a business. We're ready to get started. Let's be abundant. So let's tune in tomorrow and see what comes about. Please join us at wwg1wga.love. Join us for membership. There are gold grain coins on there in some of the memberships as free gifts, as for participating in the membership plans. Please look into it if you're interested. Please join ahead. And if you'd like to contact me, my information is down below. I also have 4 gold grain coins, a referral link down below. So please, if you'd like to participate, and there's commissions on gold grain coins. And there's a lot in this gold grain coins. It's part of what I call the Kringle Gold ecosystem. That is meant to create an abundance-based system upon the topics that we were just discussing. There's one internal coin we call carrots, Kringle reward tokens. That's about developing value within the ecosystem. And the other gold grain coins is for the market base, and each one is equal to 1 grain of gold, which is about the same as a cup of Starbucks coffee. So come and get your grains. All right, that's enough for that. We'll see you tomorrow. See what happens.